All right, good morning, traders. TG Watkins here. It is July, not January, July 28th when I'm recording this. And remember, if you guys like the way that I talk about the markets, you can come over to simplertrading.com and check me out over at the Moxie Indicator Trading Room. So we have a good time over there. It's been pretty active lately because this has been a really nice market. Also, if you like the Moxie Indicator, we do, of course, have that available on StockCharts and Thinkorswim and a couple other places. So, take your pick. All right, so I wanted to kind of do some internals since yesterday was a big day. I wanted to get this out in the morning because I figured, well, yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that big move, and I didn't exactly want to leave it, make a video last night with that big move just in place. So today you can see there's big bounce up, and we'll be talking about a lot of these things. Overall, if you look at, say, the NDX, doing great. I mean, lots of good support in through here, lots of 52-week new highs. You can see the same thing here with the SPY, lots of 52-week new highs. So, fantastic. However, if we look at the kind of the breadth, I would say, this is the number of stocks over their 20-day, over their 50-day, and over their 200-day. And you can see, yes, we have been oscillating up here in a range on the 20-day, which is great. And then you can see up here on the 50-day is also great, but what do? We basically hit 90%. 90% of stocks are over their 50-day SMA. That is a lot, okay? At some point, it's going to be too much. And I think we just started to see that yesterday with the market right after the FOMC. And then on the 200-day, number of stocks over the 200-day, it's about 75%. It can go higher. So this one's not overbought. I'd really be focusing on the 50-day, and we could start to see a bit of a rollover here on the 20-day. So I would keep an eye on that and see if we get a refresh. We should, it would be healthy for the market to see at this point, the 20-day start to move down so that we can kind of get a new batch. And even the 50-day would be great to kind of see this peter off a little bit, because when 90% of stocks are over their 50-day, it's difficult to work with. And you can see the same thing here with the NASDAQ. We saw the number of stocks above their 20-day start to peel off, which again makes sense since the market started to roll over. So that was a bit of a clue. And also the number of stocks over their 50-day was almost 90%. So it's just kind of like there's not much more room for stocks to go. That being said, with the majority of stocks in the market needing a pullback or a flag or something to kind of refresh things, there are still a lot of really good movers out there, and I'll show you a couple that we have been in. All right, so if we look at the S&P here, as I said, it's been on a tear, absolutely on a tear, which has been fantastic, and we've been having a good time with it. But you can see it's just been ripping along that third ATR, and then we had the FOMC. The market jumped up on it, but then got sold into pretty hard. So, of course, gotta love that FOMC stuff. The market loves to kind of trick people. And then you can see here on the hourly chart, what do we get? Like right on time, we got that Moxie price trigger. You can see there's some negative divergence from price going up, and you can see just right on schedule. So at this point, I have been looking for it, and right in through here, I kept talking about it, like, hey, we should be expecting a pullback at some point. But I guess the market wanted to wait for the FOMC to kind of do its shenanigans. But I would be expecting the S&P at least to come down to its 21 EMA on the daily chart. On the weekly chart, you can see, yes, it's really bullish. I mean, fantastic, but hey, at some point, probably going to need to take a break. I would say maybe something a little bit closer to the weekly 8 EMA. And we'll have to see if it turns into anything more, but for now, that's kind of what I'm looking at. And then if we look at the let's do the RSP, because this kind of shows that the market is really engaging. This is fantastic. This is lovely. This is what we want to see. There's double bottom, and it's been taken off. And you can see, really doing a great job on the monthly and weekly time frame. So absolutely fantastic that we are seeing this with the RSP, which is the equal weight, which means that more and more names are, going with it. And you can see the same thing. It's also pretty overbought, and you can see the Moxie price trigger right on cue. In fact, you could see here was the start, here was another start, and there's the end. Okay, so yeah, I would, I'd be a little bit careful. We need to get a refresh out there. And if we look at the IWM, it says the same thing. It has been doing a great job, but again, and I think that's going to probably actually print down. So today's still moving, but I think we're going to be seeing that up here, the third ATR. We are coming into some previous resistance, so it just makes total sense here. And come over here with the IWM, but big picture, I love what's happening here. This looks fantastic. This market looks great. There are a lot of fresh names that are out there. You need to just wait for a better opportunity. The market's really, really overbought, so let's let things cycle down. But I think that the strength is still there overall, and just find the names that are doing well, despite the pullback that we are watching happen. Look at the Dow. I mean, look at this thing. After 8 months, finally breaking out. Here we go, breaking out. So all cylinders are firing. We just have to be okay with a little bit of ebb and flow and get your timing right with the particular stocks that you're looking at. So there you go. All right, then we can come over to, let's look at the VIX. And what do we see? Sure, yeah, it's low. It's really low, okay? So maybe, VIX low, look out below. There could be something there. And you can see, yes, it's been trying to put in a floor in through here. So yes, this might move up a little bit, but you know what? Overall, let's get a little move up, and then I'd love to see it come back down. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm at on that one. And if we look at the UVXY, there's just not much to say about this. Gosh, the only thing I could really say is that there is some volume coming in. We do have a potential trampoline move here on both time frames, but man, it has not been able to catch any traction. Now that we are expecting a pullback in the market, and I do think we're going to cycle low, maybe there's going to be a little bit of something here, but honestly, I am not interested in playing the UVXY right now. It is just dead money. Sure, there could be pops, but boy, you're going to be Johnny on the spot, and be quick about it if you're going to trade the UVXY. So I just don't feel like going there. And again, as far as names that are doing well, yesterday was kind of interesting. The rest of the American market pulled back, and China basically just went sideways. It dipped a little bit, but look what we got today. We have a very, very strong move today, and we have a lot of tickers out there that are doing well. And we have been steadfast with this, holding on to it for a while, mostly because if you look at, let's come over here, if you look at the monthly and weekly charts, what does it look like? Does it look like China wants to go down? No, I would say no. And so what are you trying to do? We're trying to play it to the upside. Look at this. Here's your inverse head and shoulders, and here's your Moxie price trigger, which means that from this point, with price below the weekly 50 and the Moxie indicator above 0, that is a trampoline move, and it's setting up on a weekly time frame. It's like what John Carter talks about, that if you have a squeeze on the 5-minute, well, it's a 5-minute squeeze. But if you have a squeeze on a weekly, well, that's a weekly squeeze, and that's going to be a bigger, longer squeeze that's going to last for weeks as opposed to 5 minutes. So I'm really happy to be seeing this, and look, you can see that I'd say we're breaking out. So, and you can even see here, the monthly 10 has angled up, looks fantastic. And then you come over here, and it was a lot of noise. Trust me, we were trading in through this, sitting on a position, but I figured, I could see the big picture. Big picture was looking good, and what do we got? That's what we got. Nice breakout today, and you can see leading up to that, today's Friday. I think this thing popped up on Monday, and I say, look, guys, we have a fresh price trigger on Monday on a daily chart. We haven't seen this in a long time. So this is fantastic. We've got fresh signals. And as part of that, you can look here, we had price below the hourly 50, the Moxie indicator above 0. That, again, is a trampoline move. So we have been all over this with the Moxie group and doing well. We're having a great time with this. And part of that was KC. And now this one kind of put us a little bit through the ringer over the last couple of days. A lot of other names in the Chinese area were moving up, but this thing kind of kept moving down. And this one did seem to kind of get run over by the overall market yesterday. It did look pretty rough. But honestly, you notice that the 8 was over the 21, the Moxie indicator, so we had that price trigger. And technically, all of this on the hourly chart, all this down here, were trampoline moves because the Moxie indicator was still above 0. And now you can see clearly that I think we're breaking out from there. Yes, it has a little bit more resistance to go, but generally speaking, I mean, look, that is a strong move. So I look at that and I compare it to AFRM, Affirm. Kind of looked like it was doing the same thing yesterday, to KC. It looked like, let me get this back on. It looked like it was breaking out right there. You can see it looked like it was breaking out, breaking out from there. And again, all of these were trampoline moves, and it looked like it was good to go. But the American market pulled back real hard, and AFRM got caught up in that. So for now, I decided to get out of it. But you look at these two things that they seem to be very similar chart patterns. And look, Casey totally succeeding today, holding up, big move, all that kind of stuff. AFRM yesterday pop up and just got ripped back down. The difference? Well, I would say the Chinese market as a whole is going up today and has been supportive for the last few days. The American market, on the other hand, has been on a tear for weeks and was basically at its tipping point at the top and overbought. And yesterday was a pullback. So an American-based name like AFRM got caught up with that. And so we'll have to see if this can continue to kind of hold in through here, and maybe we can get into it again. So we look at that, and then we can say, how about Weight Watchers, WW? We cashed 40% gain in just the 2 days ago, right there. Cashed a little bit in. I think there's still more to go, but we got to wait for it to pull back and settle in and find its support, because it's just got a giant gap at this point. But the reason that we were in this was multiple reasons. But the biggest thing I saw right here, you can see price below the hourly 50, the Moxie indicator above 0. That's a trampoline move, and it came in and bounced right off of the daily 21. So absolutely fantastic. And you look here on the higher time frames. Look at that. Just look at that. That is a thing of beauty as far as a longer term time frame. Look at that. Just flagged right into the monthly 10, pulled back right into the weekly 21. Big volume coming into this thing. Yeah, what is to not like about Weight Watchers? So we were in there, as I said, took a little bit, about 40% off, 40% gain, took some off. And then another one, let's see, VSTO. And yeah, tell me what's wrong with this one. Nothing. So you can see here that it has been pulling back, sure, for a very, very long time. But you know what? What's it doing? It finally stopped going down. It came into support here and support in through here. And look at this area right there. Nice little pinch. Notice that the 8 crossed over the 21. Price got over the 50, and now it starts to move up. There was a little bit of a caveat. Let me show you guys this VSTO that had earnings. So you can't see it here, but it had earnings yesterday and reported at least maybe last night or something like that, or the night before. And so I've been watching this because the stock overall, the chart looked great, but I don't like to just step into something right before earnings. And so I waited, and I noticed that the morning I was like, okay, let's see what it did for earnings. It didn't like fall down, so let's see. And sure enough, in the morning, it looked strong. We jumped into it that morning and pleasantly surprised and rewarded. And so yeah, even though the market went down, there are names that are still going up. This is still generally a bullish market. You just have to find your right timing. And there's still lots of opportunity out there, guys. So again, come on over to simplertrading.com/Moxie and check out the trading room if you want to follow along on some of these things. All right, guys, thanks again, and we'll see you later.